Hello and welcome to the show. It's me, John Park, and it is time for this week's episode of JP's Product Pick of the Week. Thank you so much for stopping by. We have a great show planned for you here today. Really cool product pick. If you're new to this show, what happens? Well, I show you a cool product that we have, in this case a brand new one, a fairly brand new one, and I give you a humongous discount on it. If you want to head over to the shop and get one, you don't need a coupon code or anything like that. You can simply head to that URL right there, point your camera at that QR code. That'll take you right to the product page for this week's product pick, and there it will be discounted 50% off of the usual. And we have a bunch of them stashed in stock and ready to go that we popped into the store right before the show. So that's how this works. Now, before I go any further with this, what I'd like to do is actually have Lady Ada, we'll just jump back a little bit in time and have Lady Ada introduce this to you. So please take it away, Lady Ada.
Yay, it's the NXP DigiKey Adafruit collab that we started in late 2019. Finally here in the shop, we've got a metro shape board with the iMX RT1011. We have an existing board that's very similar that's Wi-Fi. This one has microSD, so it's very affordable. So it's under 20 bucks, and you get a 500 megahertz iMX NXP processor. This is a Cortex M7. This is like an incredibly powerful chip.
Beast.
And it's less expensive than many AVR 8-bit microcontroller boards. So,
I like the silkscreen design.
yeah, the silkscreen's very beautiful. Thanks to Phil B for it. It's got a microSD card slot, so you can use it for data storage or retrieval. USB Type-C has native USB. You can power it from a DC jack. Again, this very powerful 500 megahertz processor with 128 kilobytes of RAM. And for storage, both disk storage, internal disk storage, and firmware storage, 8 megabytes of QSPI flash. So it's very speedy. So great for data logging, or if you want to stream data off of the microSD and process it very quickly, because we don't have anything faster than the Cortex M7 for a microcontroller. A lot of accessories on it as well. And not just you've got all of the Arduino compatible headers, so you can use shields with it. STEMMA QT port as well. NeoPixel built in, that microSD card on-off switch, a JTAG SWD port. So if you want to do step debugging, you can connect this up to your J-Link and use it with MCU Espresso, which is NXP's IDE. You can do step debugging with their programming system. I will mention though, even though it is Arduino shaped, it does not actually run the Arduino IDE. Instead, we have CircuitPython support, which I think is great because you can get up and running really fast. And we support I2S and the SD card reading and digital in-out, PWM, analog, all the stuff you expect. Or you can use NXP's IDE, which of course is going to be the most powerful. And they've got IDE with tech support and all of the ARM Cortex SimSys core required to use all the peripherals on the M7. So you want to get started really quickly, go with CircuitPython. You want like power and control over every register and every byte and all the caches, use NXP's tools. But either way, this is the partnership that we're doing because we wanted to show people that even though this is a 500 megahertz processor, we can make it as easy to use as an 8-bit microcontroller.
All right, and somewhat collectible board too. I think this might be the first circuit board with the new DigiKey logo.
Yes, that is true. So here, look, that's it right there. Ooh, nice logos, nice silk screen. That right there is the product pick of the week this week. It is the Metro M7 Micro SD. This uses the NXP iMX RT1011 chip on it, which is incredibly fast. It runs at 500 megahertz, and there are all kinds of great features on this. You've got 8 megabytes of QSPI on there, so a lot of storage space. We have a, what is it, 109, let me check my stats here, a 128K of SRAM on there. Things I like about this board, first of all, it is Arduino shaped, which means all of those shields that you have that you can plug in, motor driving shields and audio shields and proto shields, they'll plug right in there, which gives you a lot of space to work with to add your own circuits and connections to other things. It's USB-C, right? Huge improvement over the old USB-B printer cable-sized thing that you'd have in a original Arduino. We also have on there, one second, I gotta pause a feedback video that's gonna drive me bonkers. Also on there we have the STEMMA QT port. Where is it? It's right there. So if you want to plug in little STEMMA QT accessories, that's going to do it for you. In fact, let me go back to this overhead view so you can see it right here. Okay, so STEMMA QT port, USB-C port. There is that microSD card reader, so you can click in a little microSD card, read data off of there, read assets off of there, write to there, data log onto there. That'll work really nicely for that. We also have these little switches here. You might be wondering what these mysterious switches. This allows you to actually toggle between the pin ordering for TX-RX to be 0 and 1 or 1 and 0. So 1 is the traditional, and the other allows you to use sequential pins for digital, just in case. So neat, nifty feature there. Reset button right here, all of the same Arduino pin spacing that you'll need to use your shields. And take a look on the back. You actually get some of the stats right there, right? I couldn't remember. Okay, so there it is, NXP iMX RT1011, the 500 megahertz, 128K of RAM, and 8 megabytes of QSPI flash, and of course the microSD card slot. It is partnership with Adafruit and NXP and DigiKey, so they've got their logos rather, on the board there. And one of the key things about this is it's just plain fast. So if you're looking for a board that you can run CircuitPython on it for ease of use, and you want it to be as fast as can be, this is probably the board for you. In fact, I want to show you a demo here. So here's another one right here, a Metro M7 SD card slot, and I have plugged into it the TFT shield. So you can see that's plugged in right there. Slots in to all the lovely slots, and on here I've got a nice little bouncing ball demo. This is kind of like a hyper fast version of the Amiga CG graphics ball demo. This was a demo I modified based on something Toddbot had created, and you can see this thing is just running plain fast. So if you're looking to do some graphics things and you just need cycles, you need the thing to run it as quick as can be. If you're doing synth I/O, in fact, someone in the Discord was just saying, it was ZZ Gavin saying, I'm really enjoying the Metro M7, the other version of it that has the Wi-Fi on it, using it with synth I/O. So this is a great choice for using with synth I/O. It has a DC power jack on it. If you're not used to these style boards, one of the features here is you can plug in anywhere, I think, from 6 to 12 volts DC with your typical barrel jack connector. Trying to get rid of that glare. There we go. So if you want to plug in a AA battery pack to it, if you want to get away for a very short time with just a 9-volt battery, it won't last long, but it'll work. Or more likely, you're going to plug it into a wall wart and give yourself plenty of power to work with. Let's see, other features. That covers the main stuff. So like Lady said, no Arduino support on this. Ironically, I know it's Arduino shaped, but there's not really Arduino support for this. But we have CircuitPython for great ease of use, and you can use NXP's IDE to code in C and C++ if you're looking for really high speed development on there. That's probably the way to go. This chip, by the way, is the same chip you'll find in the Teensy 4. So if you're thinking, that's pretty familiar, what's the deal with this NXP chip? Why have I heard of it before? It is the one that is on the PJRC Teensy 4. So if you want to head over to the product page right there, you will see it is just during this show, half off. So throw them in your cart and buy them now, because after the show we'll bring the price back up. An incredible deal, right? So if you're asking, why do we have the Metro M7 with Wi-Fi and then this Metro M7 with SD card, why would I want this? This one is the really low cost version. I don't know if you can enter into this kind of speed, an M7 500 megahertz chip, cheaper than the price that we normally have on this $19.95. And then right now during the show, it's an absolutely outrageous $9.98. You can scroll down here and you will see some of the specifications on here. The one thing I didn't mention, this has an on-off switch on it. So if you are running from the DC jack or the V-in, you can turn it on and off just with the flip of a switch, which is really nice. It means you don't have to add more complexity to your project if you just need to turn the thing on and off. If you keep scrolling down, you will find the link to the primary guide. I've got it up right here. This will tell you all of the main features. It has a really lovely pinout page that will tell you how all the pins can be used. If you click on this chart here, you can zoom way in on it and you can see any of these pins can be used for a lot of different uses. You can PWM on them, you can use them, some of these as analog, as digital, as I2C, and on and on. So check this out if you're curious about the features. It's a lot of GPIO available right there on the chip, or rather on the board. And if you take a look here, we have a section on getting set up with CircuitPython and some essentials, installing the bootloader, as well as a downloads page if you want to get the schematics for it, the CAD files, as well as technical reference and the data sheet for this chip from NXP if you have any questions about that. Peeker in a Hurry says, hey, how about Ornament and Crime as an Arduino shield? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I believe that the Teensy 4 will be able to run the very popular Eurorack firmware called Ornament and Crime soon, if not already. Paul from PGRC has been working to make that happen since the Teensy 3.2s disappeared from the face of the planet. So yeah, maybe that'll run on this. That could be pretty wild. So there is a nice little product shot from this. We want to take a closer look at that, what we have on the board. And let's see, do we have questions in the chat? Looking good. Yeah, the discount wasn't there at first, but a couple minutes into the show, if you hit refresh, it should have shown up for you at the good price of $9.98. It's amazing if you think back to original Arduino days, 2009, 10.000, the Uno, the things this board can do for the kind of price that it is a bit astonishing. What else? I think that covers it. Yeah, so let me go back to the overhead here, and I'll just show you attaching the shield here. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug from USB. Let me try to keep my USB cable from sliding off of the desk there. So I will carefully pull this out, and you can see we have the SPI port broken out on these little 6 pins here. So if your shield takes advantage of SPI, you can use those pins right there. And if you look here, I've got a little SD card that I can store graphics files on there and pull them into code, into memory. And then pop the shield right on like that. Look how quick this thing powers up. Bzz, and we're up and running. Oh, it does a restart. I'm not sure why. My computer being funny, I think. If you take a look at the code that I've got running on here over in CircuitPython, this is, like I said, my modified version of ToddBot's screensaver. If you look on Todd's GitHub for screensaver, you've got a few different bits of code there to use. I just put it all into this one file instead of the generalized library that he had. But you can see we've got a 320/240 display on here. And it's running pretty high frame rates. If you take a look at just the ball here, I'm going to resave the code. Watch how quickly this thing restarts, and boom, just the ball on there. I know Lady Ada had a demo doing some bouncing DVD logos, and that I think she got 6 or 8 of them all flying around at once. So we could probably start adding a lot of sprites to this, and it would continue to run just because we have that kind of processing power on this board right here. So that is it right there. I think, unless there's any other questions, this will do it for the show. People making me laugh over in the Discord. Todd wants to know, what's the biggest fort I can build with a pallet of these? At this discounted price, your fort is going to be 10 metros in size, because that's the limit. But if you want to buy them at the regular price, you can go pretty much full scale fort. All right. McQuinman16, does that work with the VS 1053 MP3 shield by G-Tech? I do not know. That is a great question, but I don't know the answer to that one. Sorry. Frame rate, yeah, this might be 60 frames a second that this is running at. I didn't run the calculation. I think it was, let me see, 0.01 refresh was running at 20 to 24 frames a second on the Funhouse, is what Todd had calculated. That was a different size display. I've got this frame delay at 0.02, and you can see here. Actually, let me just, since someone asked, if we go back here and let's see, that was running at, that was 20, what is it? Yeah, 20 to 24 frames a second at that. And so I can go quite a bit faster here. Oh, didn't like that change. Let me restart it. I can't tell. I don't know. It's high frame rate. You probably have to do more math or get a high frame rate camera on there to figure that out. I'm not sure. We can do fun stuff since I'm in the dangerous, unscripted, what do we want to do here part of the demo. We can change the sprite scale. This will slow it down because it's moving a lot more pixels, but we can go to a much bigger, now it looks like the Amiga demo. You can see the thing rotating on there. Let's see if it speeds up if I change this. Oh no, that's already at a high frame rate. Yeah, the more pixels you change on these displays, you're just going to slow things down. But we can head back to regular original scale, so now we're not having to like frame double the thing, and it's just bouncing around there fast. All right, I think that's going to do it then. So thanks everyone for stopping by. That is my product pick of the week this week. It is the Metro M7 microSD with NXP iMX RT1011 chip. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park, and this has been JP's product pick of the week. Make sure you go to the store and get some before they're all gone and before the price goes up in a few minutes. If you want to get some, get them now. All right, thanks everyone for stopping by. I will see you on Wednesday. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to be hosting Show and Tell, so hopefully you can come by. There will not be a Thursday workshop show because that's Thanksgiving and I'll be eating turkey. Thanks everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.